purpose, they don't realize the spiritual consequences. They don't understand that attacking someone protected is the fastest way to destroy themselves. They don't realize that plotting against someone chosen is the quickest route to their own downfall. For every arrow they release, they now face 10. For every lie they spread, they now deal with the chaos of their own hypocrisy. For every curse they whispered, they now fight the energy they tried to send your way. The most powerful part, you didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to retaliate. You didn't have to match their energy. You didn't even have to expose them. Your elevation exposed them. Your resilience exposed them. Your transformation exposed them. The moment they saw you stand tall, unbroken, and untouched by everything they threw at you, their fear began. Because nothing terrifies a jealous heart more than realizing that all their efforts failed. Nothing shakes a wicked spirit more than watching the person they targeted rise even higher. Nothing disturbs a malicious mind more than witnessing divine protection in action. Now they're running from the trouble they created, running from the consequences they deserve, running from the spiritual backlash they called upon themselves. They are confused by the storms in their lives. They are troubled by the weight they now feel. They are panicking because the same darkness they sent toward you has become their shadow. They cannot escape what they produced. And you are walking into a new season with greater clarity, stronger faith, and deeper peace than ever before. You are stronger because of the battles they tried to drag you into. You are wiser because of the snakes their behavior revealed. You are elevated because of the traps that backfired. You are favored because God saw what you didn't see, heard what you didn't hear, and protected you from what you didn't know existed. This is not just a victory, it is a divine reversal. Everything meant to harm you became the fuel that empowered you. Everything designed to break you became the lesson that built you. Everything sent to attack you became the proof of God's hand over your life. You didn't just survive, you rose. You didn't just endure, you transformed. You didn't just win, you were promoted. Walk boldly into your next chapter. Hold your head high. Honor the protection over your life. Because those evil spells didn't break you, they crowned you. Those attacks didn't weaken you, they awakened you. And those enemies didn't defeat you, they exposed themselves. This is your season of victory. This is your season of restoration. This is your season of unstoppable elevation. Tadiar Sasirat ATKS RevELTH Poguar Saro Dienjo your destiny and we. There are seasons in your life when the enemy doesn't attack you in the open. They attack you in silence. They don't confront you face to face. They strike you from the shadows. They pretend to support you in public, but behind your back, they whisper, they scheme, they hope, and they send out intentions that are anything but pure. It's in these seasons that you learn who truly stands with you and who quietly prays for your downfall. But it's also in these seasons that something far more powerful happens. Your divine protection becomes undeniable. People don't understand how dangerous it is to attack someone who walks with purpose. They don't realize how spiritually reckless it is to plot against someone who carries destiny. When someone is chosen, when someone is covered, when someone is aligned with God's plan, anyone who rises against them is really rising against the one who sent them. And that battle never ends well. They thought you were alone. They thought you were defenseless. They thought you were an easy target. But they didn't know the shield around you was stronger than their intentions, their envy, and their dark desires. You see, your destiny threatens people who lack direction in their own lives. Your growth exposes the places in them that refuse to grow. Your light irritates the shadows they're hiding in. And instead of working on themselves, they try to dim what you carry. They try to disrupt your peace because your peace reveals their chaos. They try to contaminate your energy because your energy exposes their emptiness. They try to break your spirit because your strength reminds them of everything they are not. But here is the truth they never expected to face. Every attack they launched revealed more about their weakness than your vulnerability. Every trap they set showed God exactly where their heart was positioned. Every curse they whispered became the evidence of who they truly are. And the moment they tried to harm you, they exposed themselves, not to you, but to heaven. There are things you have no idea you were protected from, conversations you never heard, plans you were never aware of, energy that was sent your way but failed to reach you. God intercepted attacks before they even touched your atmosphere. He blocked what was never meant for you. He shut down what was never assigned to your path. And while they plotted in darkness, He moved in the light. While they tried to weaken you, He strengthened you. While they tried to delay your progress, He accelerated your purpose. People assume that because you stayed silent, you were unaware. They think because you didn't retaliate, you didn't notice. But your silence was not ignorance. Your silence was wisdom. You understood one thing: you don't need to fight battles that God already declared victory over. You don't need to match their energy. You don't need to return what they gave. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your only job was to remain aligned with your purpose, stay anchored in your peace, and trust the process, even when the process didn't make sense. And look at what that trust produced. Their secrets came to light. Their intentions surfaced. Their masks fell off. Their plots collapsed under the weight of their own wickedness. This is what happens when people try to hinder someone who has been chosen for elevation. They don't just fail, they expose themselves in the process. They reveal who they are without you having to say a word. They reveal their own darkness while trying to dim your light. They reveal their own insecurities while trying to attack your confidence. And when God reveals a person, He doesn't reveal them halfway. He reveals them completely. Some of the people you lost were removed for your protection. Some of the friendships that ended were endings you needed. Some of the doors that closed were doorways to your next level. Some of the betrayals you experienced were the very things that saved you from destruction. You didn't lose anything. You were saved from something. You weren't abandoned. You were positioned. You weren't rejected. You were redirected. The attacks didn't break you. They built you. And now the same people who secretly tried to attack you are watching the consequences unfold in their own lives. They are confused, overwhelmed, and spiritually exhausted because everything they send out is circling back to them. Not because you wished harm, not because you prayed against them, but because that is the cost of targeting someone protected. You reap what you plant. You receive what you release. You live in the energy you create. And they created darkness thinking it would consume you, but now they're swallowed by the very storm they tried to send into your life. Meanwhile, you are rising. You are healing. You are elevating. You are stepping into the very season they tried to block. You are walking into blessings they attempted to delay. You are receiving favor they hoped would miss you. Your path is clearer. Your spirit is stronger. Your vision is sharper. Your foundation is deeper. And the best part, you don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe them a response. You don't owe them closure. You don't owe them your attention. Their actions revealed everything you needed to know. Their intentions told you who they truly were. And your growth is the answer to every question they left behind. So walk boldly into your next chapter. Walk with confidence, walk with purpose, walk with the knowing that you survived every secret attack thrown your way. Walk knowing that your destiny is too powerful for their darkness. Walk knowing that their plans were too small for your purpose. Walk knowing that the protection over your life is the very reason you're still standing. This is your time, your elevation, your breakthrough, your divine reversal. What they meant for evil has already been turned into your advantage. What they sent to break you has already been transformed into strength. What they hoped would stop you has already become the reason you're rising even higher. You are unstoppable, not because of who you are, but because of who walks with you. And no darkness, no spell, no energy, no attack can overpower someone chosen to win. Te divine ravar seel. Hi adiantr karestar ndintou kamabasi. There is a moment in every chosen person's life when the tables turn. Not by force, not by revenge, not by confrontation, but by divine authority. You begin to see the shift in the atmosphere. You feel the burden lift. You notice the path clearing. And you realize that all along, something greater was fighting for you. Everything that was sent to destroy you, weaken you, confuse you, or sabotage you has now become fuel for your rise. What they meant for evil did not just fail, it backfired. And the reversal wasn't subtle, it was divine. Some people underestimated who you were. They looked at your quietness and called it weakness. They saw your heart and assumed it made you vulnerable. They took your kindness for granted. They believed you were alone, uncovered, unprotected, and an easy target for their envy and spiritual attacks. But what they didn't understand is that your silence was not emptiness. Your silence was alignment. You were connected to a power they couldn't see. You were protected by a covering they couldn't touch. You were walking with a calling they couldn't comprehend. The moment they plotted against you, they stepped into a spiritual territory they had no business entering. Because when you rise against someone chosen, you rise against the one who sent them. When you attack someone anointed, you invite judgment on yourself. When you curse someone who stands in truth, you inherit the very darkness you tried to send. They didn't know this, but the universe already did. Heaven already did. God already did. You didn't have to fight them. You didn't have to defend yourself. You didn't have to expose them. Their own actions exposed them long before you spoke a word. Their intentions stained them long before the truth came out. Their darkness revealed them long before your light revealed you. And now the reversal has begun. The same people who tried to make you suffer are now suffering under the weight of their own decisions. The same ones who tried to curse you are now living inside the very chaos they created. The same ones who planned your downfall are stumbling over their own traps. This is not coincidence. This is not karma. This is not luck. This is divine reversal, pure, undeniable, unstoppable. You see, when someone tries to break a person who has been chosen for greatness, the attack becomes the evidence of their own downfall. When they try to block your blessings, they block their own. When they try to poison your path, they choke on their own poison. When they try to dim your light, they expose the darkness they carry within. And that darkness becomes their burden, not yours. You survived what they thought would destroy you. You escaped traps they were certain you would fall into. You overcame attacks they believed would leave you broken. They didn't expect you to rise, not because you were weak, but because they never understood how strong your spirit truly was. They never understood the power surrounding your life. They never understood that you were being prepared, refined, and strengthened by every challenge you faced. Now the same energy they sent out is returning to them. And it's not coming back softly. It's not coming back slowly. It's coming back with force. They are dealing with the weight of their choices. They are facing the consequences of their jealousy. They are wrestling with the chaos they created. And none of it has anything to do with you. This is simply the spiritual law of return. What you send out always finds its way home. Your role in this, to rise, to grow, to evolve, to elevate, to become everything they never thought you could become. Their hatred didn't stop you, it pushed you. Their betrayal didn't break you, it freed you. Their envy didn't block you, it revealed who you never needed. Their curses didn't poison you, they activated your breakthrough. And now you walk with a different strength, a different clarity, a different confidence. Because you have seen what happens when you stay aligned with purpose, even when people target you. You have seen what happens when you trust the process, even when the process is painful. You have seen what happens when you protect your heart, even when others try to destroy it. And the beauty of this reversal is that you didn't have to lift a finger. You didn't have to lose your dignity. You didn't have to compromise your character. You didn't have to become like them. Your integrity became your weapon. Your faith became your shield. Your patience became your armor. Everything meant to destroy you worked in your favor. Everything meant to delay you prepared you. Everything meant to weaken you strengthened you. You didn't just come back from the storm. You came back wiser. You didn't just escape the darkness. You came back shining. You didn't just survive the attack. You came back unshakable. This is why the reversal is so powerful. It's not just that they failed. It's that you rose higher than they ever imagined. Your growth is their reminder. Your elevation is their consequence. Your blessings are the evidence of divine protection. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them question how you're still standing. Let them question how you're still rising. Because the truth is simple, you were never fighting them. You were being positioned by God. Positioned for greater peace. Positioned for greater opportunities. Positioned for greater blessings. Positioned for a level they could never reach, even with their attacks. This is the season where your comeback speaks louder than their curses. This is the season where your elevation reveals their intentions. This is the season where every wrong done to you is being rewritten with favor. Walk boldly into it. Walk tall, knowing the battle has already been won. Walk fearless, knowing the protection over your life is impenetrable. Walk grateful, knowing every setback was a setup for your greatest rise. They tried to destroy your spirit, but your spirit rose. They tried to block your blessings, but your blessings multiplied. They tried to curse your name, but your name is being elevated. This is your moment of divine reversal. This is your season of unstoppable transformation. This is your proof that no darkness formed against you can ever prosper. And the best part, you're just getting started. Du hugyo expose ther darkness. Yo your risign gc so ims. There comes a point in your journey where you realize something powerful. God never lets darkness hide forever. The people who worked against you in silence, who threw stones from the shadows, who plotted with quiet envy and disguised intentions, they eventually reveal themselves without you lifting a single finger. Not because you exposed them, but because their own actions, their own motives, their own wickedness became too heavy for them to hide. And you begin to see the truth. God was never punishing you through their attacks. He was preparing you. He was strengthening your spirit. He was separating you from people who couldn't go where he planned to take you. People's actions didn't break you. They revealed them. Every time someone lied on your name, it revealed their insecurity. Every time they tried to manipulate you, it revealed their fear of your strength. Every time they whispered against you, it revealed their jealousy. And while they were busy trying to dim your light, they didn't notice that your light was slowly exposing their darkness. You didn't need revenge. You didn't need confrontation. You didn't need to strike back. All you had to do was keep growing, keep rising, keep trusting, and time would reveal everything that needed to be seen. Understand this: when someone is chosen, when someone is protected, when someone is spiritually aligned, attacks don't break them. They reveal the spiritual battle happening around them. You weren't weak. You weren't failing. You weren't losing. You were being shown what and who was not meant to walk with you into your next season. Those secret intentions, those hidden feelings, those quiet plots, they weren't meant to scare you. They were meant to free you. They were meant to detach you from the hands and hearts that couldn't be trusted. God never lets a chosen one walk blind. He lets you feel the shift long before the truth comes out. He lets you sense the energy long before the betrayal is confirmed. He lets your spirit detect what your eyes can't see yet. And when the exposure happens, it never comes gently. It comes like a flood. It comes like lightning. It comes in a way that leaves no room for doubt. You start to realize the reason certain people distanced themselves was because they couldn't face the truth being revealed about them. They couldn't hide their intentions anymore. They couldn't cover the hatred they tried to disguise as jokes, the envy they tried to pretend was support, or the resentment they tried to mask as friendship. Eventually, everything dark rises to the surface, and God allows it because he needed you to see who was standing around you with pure hearts, and who was standing around you with spiritual daggers. The people who tried to hurt you didn't realize one thing: every strike against you sent them deeper into their own darkness. Every evil intention hardened their own spirit. Every hidden plan became a trap they fell into themselves. Because when you rise against someone connected to God's purpose, you're not rising against a person. You're rising against divine order. And divine order never loses. You think their silence is peace, but it's fear. You think their distance is maturity, but it's guilt. You think their coldness is strength, but it's the weight of their own actions crushing them from the inside. They are not avoiding you. They are avoiding the consequences of what they did to you. They are avoiding the truth that has now become their shadow. They can't face you because your presence reminds them of the darkness they carried, the jealousy they followed, the schemes they entertained. And here's the beautiful part: you didn't have to return any of it. You didn't have to match their energy. You didn't have to expose them. You didn't have to bring them down. Your growth exposed them. Your elevation exposed them. Your peace exposed them. Because when God decides to lift someone up, he reveals everything that tried to weigh them down. He brings clarity to the hidden places. He brings light to the dark corners. And he brings truth where deception tried to thrive. You were never fragile. You were never alone. You were never defeated. You were simply being positioned. Your rising season begins the moment God removes the people who can't handle your next level. He doesn't just take them out of your life. He takes their influence off of you. He takes their energy off your path. He breaks every chain they tried to attach to your destiny. And once he removes that weight, you begin to notice something powerful. Your spirit lifts, your vision sharpens, your direction clears, and your strength returns. The same people who plotted against you are now watching your elevation with confusion. They don't understand how you survived their attacks. They don't understand how you healed from wounds they intended to deepen. They don't understand how you continued to rise when every intention they had was meant to make you fall. What they didn't realize was this one truth: you weren't protected because you were perfect. You were protected because you were chosen. Chosen to rise. Chosen to overcome. Chosen to step into a destiny they couldn't stop. Chosen to walk into a calling they couldn't destroy. And now, God is making sure that everyone who doubted you, everyone who plotted against you, everyone who attacked you in silence will witness the very thing they tried to prevent your rise. Not just a comeback, not just a small breakthrough, but a rise so powerful, so undeniable, so divinely orchestrated that even your enemies will know it wasn't luck, it was God. You're entering a season where no weapon formed against you can prosper, because every weapon has already been broken. You're entering a season where every delay is turning into direction. You're entering a season where every curse is turning into clarity. You're entering a season where every attack is turning into acceleration. This is your rising season. This is your moment of divine elevation. This is your chapter of unstoppable breakthrough. Walk into it with your head high. Walk into it with confidence. Walk into it knowing the darkness they sent only made your light stronger. Walk into it knowing the exposure wasn't for your pain. It was for your protection. Walk into it knowing that the same people who tried to hold you back will now watch you soar. They tried to dim your light, but your light exposed them. They tried to bury your purpose, but your purpose buried them. They tried to weaken your spirit, but your spirit rose stronger than ever. This is your rising season, and nothing and no one can stop it. There comes a moment in every battle, especially the spiritual ones, when the darkness that came against you turns around and attacks the very hands that formed it. This moment isn't accidental. It is divine timing. It is the point where God says, enough. And suddenly, the evil that was whispered, planned, plotted, and projected toward your life breaks loose in a direction they never expected back toward them. In this message, I want you to feel the power of truth as it rises through every word. Because topic 5 is not just about their downfall. It's about your rise, your protection, and the unshakable favor